I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about she was cold and distant. Well, one of the most challenging aspects of going through a breakup is watching the sudden change in your ex's behavior. And it can come out of nowhere for many of you guys who aren't expecting a breakup at all. All of a sudden, this person goes from laughing with you and having a good time with you and, great intimacy or whatever's going on there and with the chemistry, and then seemingly out of nowhere, complete change of behavior, complete change in attitude, and it's like a completely different person. And believe me, I see situations like this all the time, and I lived situations like this. And I can tell you firsthand that, the girl that I told you about that broke up with me and, the whole Applebee situation, okay, that girl. Now, her and I always had a great relationship. We were always laughing and joking around and having fun together. And so it was crazy to me and just completely inconceivable how this girl went from fun and happy and warm to just cold, like the ice wall in Game of Thrones cold. And the way I described it to Margaret way back then was that it felt like her love was a faucet, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, she turned it off and not another drip came out. Because once she had made up her mind that she wanted to break up, there was nothing I could have said, nothing I could have done to change that. And believe me, I tried all the things that you guys are trying, the talking about it, the grand gesture, just trying to open up and tell me what was going on. None of that worked. Believe me, I did those things, I lived those things, and there is a lot more experience that goes on that you guys even understand, because there's so much I don't even share it in all the videos. But I could tell you firsthand that I know what it's like to have your ex go from acting like your best friend or your partner or, having this amazing relationship to a completely different person virtually out of nowhere, or it seems like out of nowhere, or it happens very quickly, and so you're just stunned and absolutely devastated and confused. So today I want to talk about that a little bit, and that distance and that coldness. And obviously you're like, why are they like this? Why are they doing this? And I think a big part of it is that they don't want to give you any hope. And it's because in that moment that the way they are feeling is that they don't want to be with you. And in their mind, they feel like they have to keep up that wall so you don't think that you have any hope. And they don't want you to think that you have any hope. And the reason is because in that moment they feel like they're not going to change their mind. Because if they thought they were going to change their mind, they wouldn't break up with you to begin with, right? So a lot of times we try and push them to answer questions like, well, do I have another chance? Could we ever get back together? Well, you're only going to make things worse by asking those questions, because you're going to put them in a corner, and you're going to back them into a corner where they're going to be like, yes, this is never going to change. And it's because your anxiety level is so high that you're terrified of being alone. And so, you're trying to get an answer that might be a maybe. But if you did get that maybe, let's face it, your behavior would get even worse. You would start pursuing and pushing even more and not understanding where they're coming from or their perspective about things. So they are telling you no, they're showing you no kind of intimacy, no kind of friendship, In many cases, sometimes they do. But a lot of times that wall is up because they don't want you to think you can get them back. They don't want to go along with what you're saying, and then they have to break up with you again a couple days later. Because sometimes I see that with you guys, where you will convince your ex to go back with you, but they're only doing it to shut you up. And then a day later, when you had those plans or you thought you were going to see him, they tell you, nope, not doing it. So you can't force somebody, and you can't manipulate them or trick them or con them or talk them into anything. It's just not the way that a breakup works. Before I get to the email, make sure you guys go to my website, AskCraig.net, and sign up for the email newsletter that I put out. It takes 10 seconds maybe. Just go to AskCraig.net, scroll to the bottom of the home page, and you could just enter in your email. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to send it to anybody else. It's just for me to share content with you guys that would not necessarily be in my videos, okay? So, today's email, they said, "Hi Craig, my name is Juanito, and my wife filed for divorce in the middle of July of this year. I am a male, and I have a bachelor's degree, and I work in business. My ex-wife's name is Vivica, and she has a master's degree in psychology, and she works as a counselor." Interesting. So she has an education, and that obviously would hopefully tell me that she has some insight and understanding of what she's going through. "We have been together for 15 years, met in high school, lived with her parents, and do not have kids." Okay, why are you guys living with her parents? If she has a master's degree and you have a business degree, why are you living with her parents? That doesn't seem normal to me or healthy. After you guys have been together for 15 years, you guys aren't kids here. "She had a good upbringing, although she has had many mental health issues her whole life. She has general anxiety disorder and depression. And I'm willing to bet that her life was not as good as you think it is, because you're saying she has a good upbringing, but I could tell you there is a direct correlation between your early childhood and your adulthood and having issues with anxiety and depression. There is an extremely strong correlation, and I could tell you it wasn't as good as you think it is. And it also stands to reason for me that she did not individuate from her family and separate from her family, because you guys are still living with them and you've been together for 15 years. Before she filed, I guess for divorce, we had a discussion about our situation, as she was very cold and distant. We didn't speak about any of the consequences for some time. So she was already warning you and backing off and pulling away. She pulled away from me, as I just said. She shows no respect for me in the home or out with friends, as would not be near me in public. Wow. Okay, so she doesn't show you any respect. Now, does that sound like somebody that has a secure attachment style? No, it doesn't. And this is further showing that she did not have a good early childhood. We've got anxiety, we've got depression, she's disrespectful to you in home and in public. People that have a secure attachment style typically don't do those things. Of course, they could get anxiety and depressed, but they're less likely to have those issues. Of course, you could have something very traumatic like a death or something like that that would cause anxiety and depression. But for the most part, they're more resilient in their adult life. She played me like a yo-yo for some time. For a few days, she would really love me. Then the next would be cold and distant. And I'm wondering if that had to do with your behavior as well. If you were coming on too strong, it may have made her feel distant and push away, and maybe had some feelings of regret or confusion going on there. The night after she files for divorce, she told me I was a great man, a great husband, and a great older brother to her special needs sibling, and also said I was great to her whole family. If you're so great, then why is she treating you so poorly? Why is she disrespecting you in home and in public? Are you allowing her to mistreat you? Because a woman will never love a man she doesn't respect. She then said, I am so sorry for doing this, but I need to be happy. She has tried to leave in the past for other men, but did not. Okay, so she was already lining up other guys in your past. That also tells me she probably has a lot of anxiety, which we talked about anxiety before. But you see how all these pieces of the puzzle are coming together for me? This woman is not put together as well as she would appear. And the first thing that I wonder is, what is her mom like? Because they often say that therapist's first client is their mother, right? Now, I've talked a little bit about my mom in videos. My mom was a very, very sweet and kind person, and people absolutely adored her and loved her. But she did have a lot of anxiety, and only through learning all of the things that I teach did I understand why she wasn't able to listen to me. It was because she was in prime and had such high anxiety, and that stems from her early childhood. When my grandmother had her, she grew up thinking my grandmother would die when she was little, so she had tremendous abandonment issues going on, and so that came out in her relationship with me as well. She told me that that she was no longer sexually attracted to me and did not love me as a husband. Well, she doesn't respect you, and I'm guessing that is a big part of why she's not physically attracted to you. I did not handle the separation well at first. I did beg and ask what I could do. I also asked for another chance. I stalked her one time and followed her after work only to see her go to a tattoo parlor. So she's going to a tattoo parlor, getting a tattoo right after the breakup? That's interesting. I looked them up, and the tattoos they have posted are of 3 males and 1 female. I did drive by her parents' house one weekend to see that she didn't come home one night. Alright, so there you have it. Good chance there's another guy in the picture here. I have since stopped that and all communication. Good for you. You're only going to make that worse, especially if she catches you. It has been 2 weeks. She has also blocked me and my whole family from her Instagram account and will not speak to her family, and they are worried about her. So now she's cut off her family? That's interesting. She cuts off her own family, but she's living with them? We are close, as I lived with them for 8 years, and they speak with me, but I have not spoken with them in 2 days. And you need to be really careful about that, because a big part of what you're going to try and do here is ask them for information, and ultimately it's probably going to get back to her. And the other thing that you're probably contemplating is trying to get them on your side, because they're going to be like, oh, well, they love me, they care about me, we're close, and you're going to try and use them to re-attract her. That's not going to work. It's going to make her mad. My question is, if I have any chance of getting her back with the situation I have described so briefly. Also, is there any chance she will want me back? Well, of course, there is always a chance, and every situation is so different. Obviously, in this situation, I think there's another guy in the picture, and it seems like there's signs that there is, going out with these guys and getting tattooed and not coming home one night, and that was only one night that you stalked, and I don't know how often you stalked, but there may have been other days that she didn't come home either. I do not know why I want her back, only to tell you that I truly love her, and we have been through so much as individuals. We were both drug addicts and have gotten clean, and she suffered anorexia for about 5 years. Okay, wow, look at this. This is showing even more that her childhood was not good, because she was a drug addict, so that tells me she probably had tremendous amounts of anxiety. Obviously, you were a drug addict as well. She has anorexia, so that tells me there's anxiety going there, on there too, and she's trying to have a sense of control over her life. We had an abortion at a young age and also have had many trial and tribulations in this relationship. My question is, do I have any chance of getting her back? Well, of course there is a chance, but it looks like right now her priority is some other guy, and she doesn't respect you, and I don't know why. I'm not sure, based on what you've told me, why she doesn't respect you, but no woman will ever love a man she doesn't respect. And so I'm not sure what happened between you guys. You didn't do a good job articulating what happened between you, that things fell apart. All I could say is that right now she's thinking about this new guy. I'm guessing there's a new guy. There's no, I don't know for sure, but it certainly seems like it. And so you're going to have to leave her alone and let that situation play out. Now, whether or not you want to take her back, depending upon what information you find out, that's another story right there. But I think you're going to have to start looking at boundaries, and I definitely would make this woman work to get you back, because she already doesn't respect you. And if she gets you back right away, let's say she goes out with this guy for 2 months and he breaks up with her and she comes running back to you and you take her back right away, she's going to lose even more respect for you. So you got a lot of things to think about with this situation and decide how you want to handle it in the future. But I would take a long, hard look at if you even want this woman back. I know you say you love her, but there's got to be more than just love. You can't tolerate somebody mistreating you and, possibly cheating on you or doing things behind your back when you're together. So, if you want to get my help personally, go to my website, askcraig.net. Sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype coaching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because I do post videos Monday through Friday. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.